You're right, the 10-year marriage. Maybe it is 10 years. Maybe 10 years is when you actually know.
I think so. And it's a great point to then either recommit or be like, all right, we're good, you know?
Feeling kind of cozy today.
I am too. I have a cute shirt on under this, but I was so cold that I was like, I'm going to keep my sweatshirt on.
So here we are in the fall.
I know. Out of the blue.
And maybe that's the topic today, the name of it.
Out of the blue.
No, well, that's not a bad one too. But I was going to say the fall of a marriage.
Ooh, I like
or
that
the
too.
fall of the marriage. Life kind of imitates life imitates art, or art imitates life. I forgot the exact saying. A lot of our topics get inspired by true events.
Yeah.
Or things we hear about, right? And so recently, we've heard about some friends or some people we know getting a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like, where did this come from? Like, how could a person change overnight? I think in the past episodes, we've mentioned that if it happens overnight, or someone's like, I'm out, it's not like they just woke up.
No, I think it very rarely happens just overnight.
But yet, one of the people feel like it's that.
They got a bomb dropped on them, right? They're like, oh my God, where did that come from?
I'll give you an example. I was talking to my buddy Eddie. He's getting rotator cuff surgery. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I hate to admit it, but I was just delivering something. It was a box that wasn't even that heavy. And that I just picked it up and my rotator cuff was gone. Well, it wasn't the box.
Right.
It was years and years and years of use and years of re-tearing it and years of pain.
Right.
And the box was the thing. So yeah, now it feels like, oh, you turn 48 years old and you're getting rotator. No.
Yeah.
It's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yep.
So how do you think this happens?
I mean, while you're talking about it, so like when my parents got divorced, I remember looking at it from a child's perspective and being like, whoa, where did this come from? Like, we had the most perfect family. How did this all happen so quickly? And like, this is just, it was completely out of the blue. Like, we literally came home from school, me, my brother, and my sister. My mom brought us into the living room. She sat us down, or into the kitchen. She sat us down at the kitchen table and she was like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not in love with your dad anymore and we're getting a divorce.
Are you comfortable with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was in shock. Like, I was like, wait, what? This could not be possible.
How old were you?
13.
So you're telling me as like Ella
and Lola's age, right? Between
our
them.
kids.
Yep.
There's no way, like, how did you not have any inkling?
So that's the thing is, like, when I look back on it, I'm like, oh my God, it came out of the blue. But then I was like, wait a minute. No, it didn't. Because before that, I can't remember the exact details because, again, I was really young, but I do remember my parents separating. Like, they got a separation.
Oh, they did.
One of my parents, I can't even remember which one.
You don't have a great memory.
I know, I have the worst memory. I think my mom went to my grandma's house, and my dad stayed in the house.
Yeah.
And I think maybe we went back and forth. I'm not sure. I would have to ask my parents about it if they would even remember.
Ask your sister, see what she remembers, because she was older.
She was 17.
Yeah, she would probably have known what was going on.
And I also remember, like, the fights escalating, you know, like the arguments. I remember, like, you know, my parents growing up for a long time, they would never fight in front of us. And right before that, they started to fight in front of us. And like, we started to hear
So
things.
in this case, they knew. But is it, all right, so maybe it's not necessarily a surprise that it actually has this outcome, but maybe it's a surprise for one person where it's like, I felt like we were going to fight for this, and now it's really
now we're
over.
giving up.
And not only is it really over, we went from like being on the same team to at least trying to save it to like war or complete indifference.
Right. And one person may just be like, hey, I'm still willing to work on this. And the other person may be like, well, I'm not, and I'm done and I'm over it. I think that happens more often than not.
Or maybe the person that was willing to work on it finally gave up and said, I'm not going to carry this whole thing myself. And the other person was unwilling. And finally, I don't want to stereotype this, but at least in the last 5 that I've seen, it's been the woman wanting to work on it the man going, things are fine, we can make it work, and the woman finally going, nope, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And then the man going, whoa, 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 right? It feels like that. I mean, I'm sure it's overly stereotypical. I'm sure there's obviously other ways, but let's just take men and women out of it. It feels like that's the way it goes, whether it's the man or the woman.
Yeah.
One person is trying to like go, we got to go to therapy. We got to shake this up. We got to break something. We got to go. And the other one's like, maybe not taking it seriously, but just being a little delusional or wanting not to address it.
Right.
Right.
Well, yeah. And it's the attachment styles that show up. It's how you deal with things. And, like all of that starts surfacing when you start to have this turmoil in your marriage. And then things start just slowly dying,
It's very hard to tell somebody. And in this case, I didn't. It's very hard to tell somebody that they were at least 50% of the problem.
Yeah.
Or maybe more.
When we talked about having this topic, it was talking about like the life cycles I did some research and it was talking about the life cycles of a marriage, right? And you go through
I brought that up. It reminds me of a business.
And you go through this like infatuation, totally in love stage, like the honeymoon phase, right? And then it starts transitioning into this like, who am I now? Like whether you're having kids or you're starting a business like we did, like all these different identities start to pile on to this identity that you already had. And it's like, who am I? What am I in this relationship? What are my roles? And then the next one was this quiet death, right? It's like this slow, which we've talked about a lot on our podcasts about like
the volatile deaths are really like if you have enough passion to fight and have sex and like you're just in it, you probably have a better shot of because you haven't given up.
Right. But I think a lot of divorce, it is a quiet death. It's not like I feel like the big, okay, now we're definitely getting divorced or we're not making this work is like if somebody cheats or, somebody's just like completely changes their identity and they're completely done. But I think a lot of times it is like that slow process that we talk about.
Yeah. I mean, listen, like when I consult businesses or I'm talking to individuals that run businesses, you'll see there's infancy, there's teenage years, there's adolescence. And as you're going up, you will have this peak.
Yep.
Right before you start declining. And in business, what happens is when you hit that plateau or that peak, you have pretty much two choices.
Mm-hmm.
Well, three. You can sell it, which is letting it die.
Yep.
Let it die. Or reinvent it.
Yeah. Rebuild.
You have to that's why you see like legacy companies always rebranding and reinventing themselves because I don't care what company you are, you have to have either a vision that is still relevant, like a compelling future, or you need to tweak it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Disney, Coca-Cola, like legacy, even Southwest is doing that right now. They were the company, that disrupted the entire industry. Now you're going to be able to buy your seat. Right. And so same thing in marriage. The first thing I thought of was what is the compelling future of this marriage? Mm-hmm. What is the shared vision? If I sat them down separately and said, okay, Mr. So-and-so, what's the 5-year plan for your marriage? How do you see this playing out? Like, what are you going towards?
Right.
And then most people, let's just say the man couldn't probably define it. Mm-hmm. And then if I sat down with the woman probably wouldn't be able to define it. And what's the purpose of the marriage? And the purpose of the marriage can't be what? Just the kids.
Well, that's why we created the 10-year marriage.
It continually goes back to it.
It always does.
Right. And it also goes back to the 3 questions that I always ask in any consulting, coaching, or advice I give anyone. I'm like, what do you want? Who are you? And what are you willing to let go of? Mm-hmm. Right. So in this case, you said identity. What's the identity of most marriages don't even know their marriage identity. We've talked about that on another episode.
Yep. Yeah.
Like what do you think our marriage identity is?
I think it's growth is number one, I think, for us. We very much live in the future, I believe, instead of the past. So I feel like that's huge for us.
Which is interesting because I feel like we've been much better at the present.
Well,
and
I do too.
presence.
I do too. But I feel like the reason I even brought that up is because when you talked about that, and I was thinking of like traditional couples therapy, I'm thinking of like how much therapy is
About
spent in the past.
You're a great point.
And I mean, when we've tried to go to therapy, it was all this, like we went in being like, we're good. We're in a good place, right? And we went in and sat down and like she would ask us a question and it would surface
Just
something
to
that
trigger
we'd be
the
like,
shit out of us, yeah.
what? We weren't even wanting to talk about that. We've moved on. Or maybe we haven't moved on because it did trigger us. But it resurfaced this part of us that we were like not willing to go to. And I guess there's
a part of that.
positives
Like
to
if your past can unfortunately hold you back in your future, right? And I'm thinking again, business, like businesses that don't thrive are the ones that are so scared of repeating mistakes of the past, or it's that sunken cost theory, right? I've put so much time into this new thing and spent so much money that I have to see this through. That's like past thinking. So it's a great point you bring up. When you're in a business, you have to be willing to let go of that stuff and be like, I learned, it was a mistake.
Yep.
It didn't. Where's the lesson?
Right.
Because you waste a lot of money.
Well, and not only that, but like bringing up, like, isn't it the therapist's job to bring up like what we're trying to talk about, that like you are a different person. Like when I was 23 and you were 32, if that's
9
right.
years.
Yeah. We were like, I was still a kid.
Yeah.
You know, and you were like in this new relationship and you had
Well,
problems committing before and like you were finally like ready to commit. So it's like,
well, what were our identities before we met, right? My identity was make enough money to sustain and fund my life, go out as much as possible, and, you know.
Yeah, paying a bunch of bartenders.
They were really hot, though.
They were pretty. They were very pretty. I give you that.
But it wasn't, they were in a different stage of their life, right? Their
100%.
identity was, and you were more mature, but you still were in a young identity too.
Yeah.
But you're right. So the identity game is so big. So if you don't even know who you are right now by yourself, then it's going to be tough for a couple,
it's gonna be hard.
which we've talked about, right?
Yep.
What do you want? Well, that's the future. Okay, so our identity has to shift. We can't bring too much forward. Great. This is the compelling future, our 5-year plan, our marriage goals and shared visions. Beautiful. And then we got to let go of the past. We got to let go of the limiting beliefs. We got to let go of even some of the things that were good about our marriage in that time of our relationship that don't really work.
Yeah,
now.
honor it and burn it down. Like honor it and leave it be.
Exactly, which we've done at Urban Nest, which we've done over and over again. And if you watch our kids, they are living embodiments of this because they change so rapidly during this time. Imagine if they didn't grow and change.
Yeah.
Imagine being stuck as a 5-year-old or a 13-year-old in the middle of puberty. So, okay. So that is why. I mean, people don't take advice because they're so stuck in their feelings. When you hit that point in your relationship, if you don't change, it is going to start to die, this quiet death. Some people, though, just let it die and they stay in the relationship. I got more respect for people who are willing to walk away or at least shake shit up and disrupt.
Right. Which is another thing I was thinking about is like, is it riskier to shake shit up and bring up uncomfortable things or to just let it ride and then all of the sudden your marriage falls apart and it's like, oh, well, I should have said something. I should have done this. And now it's too late because the other person is checked out.
That's a loaded question. I'm going to tell you why. At least in my brain. Risky to lose the marriage? Yes, much riskier. But you're also risking, by not doing it, what is possible in that marriage.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know, I could easily look back and be like, man, I shouldn't have done some things in real estate or my business. But like, if I didn't do that, all the good stuff afterwards, like you have to, no risk it, no biscuit. Like that's the game. So our identity, I agree. Growth, love, connection, intimacy as far as like not just sexuality, like that's part of the game,
Mm-hmm.
but like I feel solely connected to you,
Right.
right? Family,
Energetically connected. Yeah.
transparency and authenticity in our relationship, presence. Like this is identity.
Yep.
When we're not, which you've mentioned all the time, when we're not going towards something, you think that our relationship stagnates,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So what do we want? Well, we've made it super clear what we want, and we're doing things that are important to get there. Like, what do we want? We have a shared vision.
Yeah. Well, we want our Elevana. It's our way of life. It's our rituals. It's our routines.
The ranch.
With each other as a family. It's the ranch. It's back to nature. It's really like remembering.
It's creating. I just looked at all the episodes we've done. It's creating that alternative, the way we want to live our life that we've talked about in 33 episodes.
Yeah.
Religion, spirituality, education, marriage, friendship, location,
Community.
goals, community, business,
Yep.
growth.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the next step. So we have reinvented. So if you look at the life cycle of our relationship,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say you don't go back to infatuation and infancy.
Maybe.
Different.
Yeah.
Because it's hard not to bring
Yeah.
all the
Totally.
good with us, right?
It's not the infancy, but I think there is a way to fall back in love with your significant other.
Without a doubt.
you've
But
been
now
with
we're
for
back
years.
on the growth curve
Yeah.
rather than the decline.
Yeah.
But it's a new marriage, it's new people, it's new identities, it's new things to let go.
And sometimes it's painful, right? Like it's still
It's a
painful
death
for us.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll never forget. I got to give Garrett, one of my mentors, credit for this. I'll never forget it. It was such an interesting way. I was actually during Warrior Week in 2016, and I wasn't there for marriage problems. I was there
Mm-hmm.
for like a rebirth, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Actually just a remembrance. But a lot of people go to these type of things for either they're having money problems or they're having marriage problems,
Yep.
right? And so he's talking about marriage, and he's like, the guy was like, maybe I don't know, we're going to get divorced. And he's like, get divorced. And it was such counterintuitive advice. What do you mean? We're supposed to save the marriage. No, let it burn. And we've talked about this as well,
Yeah,
right? We talked
the
about it
10-year method, yep.
with Mark Groves. Burn it down. Especially if you feel like the other person is out and you're trying to save it, to be like, you know what? I'm going to give you exactly what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get divorced. But let's just divorce and not actually go through with the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not go through with, let's play it out. And if there's anything left, like I'm awake now
Yeah.
and I love you still. And I want to fight for this marriage for us and for the kids and what we've created together. But I'm willing to burn all the BS down. Let's get two places and let's start dating again and let's see if there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people aren't willing to do that. It's like you're trying to like fix a broken foundational house.
Yeah, but then good luck going out and being single again and like trying to find somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
But on the
that's
flip-
what I think. I'm like, fuck. Like I spend 2 nights away from you and I'll be like, okay, let's get remarried.
But we do the work.
Yeah, totally.
What I'm saying is like, so there's really, again, like let's say 3 options here.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to either start completely over with someone new,
Yeah.
with all the baggage, or you go right back to you're on that decline stage and you're just patchworking the problems.
Mm-hmm.
Why not do neither?
Yeah.
And just go, okay, why don't we start over? Let's tear down the floors and layers of this marriage that either no longer serve us or that are broken. Let's tear them out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be willing to be like, you know what? I'm done with that conversation. I'm done trying to fix and solve a problem in the same ways we've done in the past.
Yep.
Let's just throw you know what? You think it's this way? Let's give it a shot.
And, you know, while you're saying this is the work that we want to start doing, right? We want to start bringing couples through this process because it's really hard. And I know it would be hard because even when we're in an argument or we're having situations, like it's hard. I know what to say or I know how to break the pattern, but like something in my system doesn't allow it to
You're
happen.
rejecting it.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, it's too vulnerable. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say it. It's almost like if we had a guide, a coach, a facilitator help us through that process, it would be so much easier to be like, okay, like here's what I would say, here's what I would do, and then actually like follow through and do that.
I know where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
I know your biggest thing. Like if we don't have that house and that ranch, you're going to start falling apart and it'll start affecting our marriage. And then maybe one day you wake up and go, this is not what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't want that,
Yeah,
we'd have a problem.
Yeah.
And if I didn't want that, then I'd better have a dream just as big.
And got to sell me on it.
Exactly.
Right? Like, and
exactly.
Yeah. And that's even like when we're talking about where it is or what it is, I'm like, all right, sell me on something else.
And that's the conversation we're at. That's still not easy. It's still breaking down of identity and layers. And so in business, like when does this happen? Like when should people be looking for this? Because I believe it's like, I used to think it was 10, but I think it's like, I know you looked it up and it's like 8 years people start falling apart.
Yeah, it said 8 to 10 years people start falling apart, and about 43% of marriages actually like are successful marriages in the first marriage. 43% of marriages stay successful. So you have more than half of marriages end in divorce.
So in business,
Mm-hmm.
very few businesses make like less than 20% make 10 years.
Yeah.
And one of the things is they don't reinvent.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So success is not, oh, I found it out, like what to do. And now I'm just going to run back the same playbook
Right.
every single year.
Right.
Right? You have to continually change, but you know that's when it happens. I would be interested to see the stats on when the kids leave the house.
My parents were married 17, 18 years. Right? So like one was starting to leave the house, but I think, I just like when we just were talking about those statistics where it's like 43% actually work. It's like out of that 43%, how many of them are happily married?
Yeah, well, that's the full. So
like,
it's great. So divorce should not be the thing. Like,
right.
It's almost like the saying, how many men die at 25 but live to 75?
Right.
Right? How many marriages die in year 8 to 10? But they never get divorced.
Yeah, because they're just together.
Which, to me, is worse.
Oh, I agree.
Right?
I agree. It's almost like I'd rather just get it done with and move on.
Actually, no. Because it's not even worse. Because one way or another, you're going to have to face the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
One way or another, you're going to have to face the truth. Because if you get divorced and you just bring the same nonsense into the next marriage, you're just repeating the pattern, same or different woman.
Right.
I've seen people do this in business. They get out of the business. They think new business.
Yeah.
They don't have the
same problems.
Same problems, and then they have the same problems because they didn't change and learn their lessons.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I believe, and this is anecdotal, rarely does the second or third or fourth marriage get better. Like somewhere along the line, if you have you need to eat, whether you age and get wise or you, I don't want to say lower your expectations, but you get clear on what you want.
Yeah. Well, and you can see, I think we know a lot of successful second marriages. And I'm like, you can see though that both parties are putting in the work. You know what I mean?
I see it. I know of a great fourth marriage, a friend of mine, and they've been married now like 25 years. And his friends and people around him like, good luck. Oh, it's like the jokes at his wedding about his fourth marriage.
Yeah.
And 25 years later, they're married.
Yeah.
Right? So there's anecdotal, but the point is this. There's a life cycle of a marriage. And so if you look and you're like, I don't have to do anything. I can just mail it in. No, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You either choose to have the conversation or it's going to be chosen for you. Hence why You're right. The 10-year marriage. Maybe it is 10 years. Maybe 10 years is when you actually know.
I think so. And it's a great point to then either recommit or be like, all right, we're good, you know? And like that's one of the coolest things I think that we can do with this whole method and this whole idea and this concept is to really like, there are people that I believe I'm like, okay, well, even if you did change or you did really commit to yourself, because that's what it takes, recommitting to yourself to recommit to the other person, but maybe it wouldn't be a successful situation. But there's a way to like go about it to where it's like, that wasn't wasted time, right? There was beauty in that. There was honor to be had. And it's like, okay, well now going into the next, how can we co-parent together? How can we make this the best case scenario with us being apart, right? Because if one person is just done or their identity is completely shifted, like we got one life. You know what I mean? Like people, when you were talking about how our kids change so much and we really notice it as children, like we're changing as adults just as quickly. We just don't realize it because we're not getting physically taller and physically different, but we are changing that rapidly. And it's the same thing. Like I'm excited. You should be excited to set up another 10-year contract.
Yeah.
Right. And it shouldn't be like this. Oh, like, let's see. Like, I think that the goal of this work is to have that compelling future and be like so fucking excited about it. Like you were, like, I love you more now. Like I'm more excited to remarry you for our next 10 years than I was for the first 10 years.
Yeah, I agree. I find you more attractive now.
Well, because I am.
But that's also a healthy, secure relationship.
Right.
Right. So we're making these assumptions with people get into marriage as healthy and secure.
Right.
We weren't. We had our stuff.
Right.
We had the infatuation that brought us through.
Yep.
We knew the thing we had in common the most was a vision of a future of what it looked like, which is so important. And we talked about that. But it's like a business. Again, like there's so much. There's such a relationship with a business because it's not even money. It's like what I want to do, what my purpose is, how I want to live my life, right? The business is an extension of the founder and whatnot. So it's like you have this is why I want to open a business. And this is why I want to get married. And then once you get married and once you open that business, all the things, all the shit comes out.
Yeah.
That you have to address. And
Totally.
if you better love that woman enough and you better be committed enough to go and work on it and change it and do everything and be willing to fight and pivot.
And put in the work yourself, right?
Because it's the same thing with business. Right? Because like you're like, all right, business, you get a pro forma, you get a business plan. And business plans never work out, ever. Someone goes, I'm going to be making this much money by year 3.
Yeah.
It's either you're going to miss it completely one way or completely the other. Usually it's like super high expectations. You don't hit it. But if you make it past a certain point, you exceed the business plan by a mile. Think about marriages. We have all these expectations. We're in love. We go on the honeymoon, We've hit the peak. And then you travel, then you have business, then you have kids. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, I'm an adult.
This wasn't what I expected. This is a lot harder. I thought I was going to have sex 5 times a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I thought there was no wrong I could do.
But I think that the death and the fall is just a natural state. It's just something that's going to happen.
So normalize the fall of the marriage and go into it with eyes wide open.
Yes, and choose that the suffering part of it is an optional suffering, right? You don't have to suffer through that, right? You can let it burn, you can let it die. It will be painful, but it's just part of the process. It just is, you know?
And it is a wake-up call for you because we weren't we had to get to a healthy spot, right? So if my parents, when they got divorced, were both at the top of their game, living like 4-dimensional lives, super healthy, mindsets and everything, and just said to each other, we're just not meant for each other.
Yeah.
We want different things. And then they talked to me like an adult, because I was young, 2, 3 years old, and be like, speak lovingly about each other.
Right.
I love your dad. I love your mom. We had you together. We spent 7 beautiful years. We were kids. We were 13 and 14 when we met each other. Thank God. Like, that was such a beautiful part of my life, and we have you. And then they went and found other people that, like, healthy relationships, and then I could have the 4 of them together. Like, that's a completely different thing, because at least I could be like, I love them both so much, and they were so great, but I could understand why that part of their lives, like, they just didn't want the same thing.
Totally.
I mean, I know we're talking in an idealistic situation.
But I think it is possible. I think it is possible. And I think that the problem with most divorce is that one person gets so hurt because of all of it, and they're not able to fully just let it go. And that person will just dwell on it. And then, the
rejection becomes bigger than the actually wanting of the person.
Right.
We're kids. We do that right now.
And it's our egos, right?
Yes.
And it's not just people getting divorced. I mean, our egos come into play on a daily basis, just in the human experience. But having kids involved, I think it is so important. Like, I remember like certain things that were said about certain parents and different things. And I keep telling people that go through divorce that I'm with, I'm like, just respect the other person through this, right? Like, they're on their own journey, you're on your own. But like that respect has to be there, because that's where I think kids really feel that pain and that suffering that they go through with this divorce, because it can be, I've seen so many successful
look at my dad,
co-parenting
for instance.
relationships.
Like, I don't know if he thrived in relationships after the divorce, but everything else, it was rocket fuel. I mean, he was there for me. He was an incredible dad.
And he never talked bad about your mom.
Ever. He paid child support, even though I was with him the majority of the time. He was like a Superman.
Yeah.
Like, he did it all. He never missed any football games or baseball games. He was a fireman. He went and got his real estate license. He bought houses. He partnered up to do a restaurant. Like, and before that, he didn't take as many chances. But once that hit, it was like, I have nothing to lose. Now, he put his relationships on the back burner. And he was hurt, and I became like a de facto partner for him.
Right.
But at least people are able to look at him and go, he's not worse, he's better. Right? And so when people get divorced, I'm like, or they do something, I know I've had this conversation like 10 times. I'm like, control what you can control and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, go be the father or mother of the year, which is the same exact advice to prevent the fall of the relationship.
Yeah, put in the work yourself.
I'm going to have to change right now. I'm always growing. I'm always evolving. Part of me is always dying. A part of me is always being birthed. Like,
yeah.
You don't get to just cruise control through, and B, why would you want to? This is actually a freeing feeling for me right now, because it doesn't matter what part of your life, whether it's marriage, relationships, whether it's business, whether it's your spiritual purpose game and your mindset, or it's your body. Like, the whole game is always going through this.
Yeah, it's all
life
cycle.
Let's wrap it up in a bow. What would you be doing for marriages or couples inside of their relationship right now? Pretty much just go through the process of 10-year marriage, right?
I would go through the 10-year marriage method that we talked about, the 3-part system, right? It's the But
let's talk about just the fall. Look at it maybe, I'm going to say right now, I'm going to look at it like, it's not a matter of if or when. It's not a matter of, you get a choice. Your relationship is going to have to evolve, and part of it is going to have to die. And so rather than fight it and resist it and get stuck in the in-between and get stuck in the transition and get stuck in between the two identities of your marriage, truly let go. Truly continue having this conversation. Be like, what part are we in?
Yep.
What do we need to do? What are we excited about?
Mm-hmm.
And play the game of the 3 questions. Instead of who am I, what do I want, and what do I need to let go of? Be like, who are we?
Mm-hmm.
What do we want? And what do we need to let go of?
Yeah. And know that it's going to require personal growth.
Because once you get into that growth curve, the part where you're going to have to let go is going to require some change. But pain or change does not mean suffering.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can scream on the roller coaster, and depending upon how you're seeing it, you don't really know if someone's screaming and enjoying it or someone's screaming
In
and
fear.
freaking the hell out.
Yeah. It's what you give it meaning, right? Like we talk to Lola all the time, who's our theater kid. And it's like, listen, it's either nervousness or it's excitement. You get to choose. It all has the same effect on your body. It all
Let's
feels the
cliche
same.
the shit out of this. Yep.
Yep.
Tearing a muscle before it grows. Like,
Right.
we can go all day.
The trees. You got to mention the trees.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Remember
you
that
mentioned
post?
the cheese. I know
Remember that post I sent you?
Yeah, I
where
know
it's
which one. It's like
they have to. The fall has to happen. The
I
fall
wasn't
has to
thinking about
happen.
that
The
one.
leaves have to fall, and all it does is it creates stronger roots for it to be reborn in the spring. It literally goes through a death every single season.
That's not the tree one I was thinking of.
That's a good one, isn't it?
I don't understand why the leaves have to fall in order for it to be stronger.
Because it has to have a season of death to be reborn.
I got another one for you.
Okay, tell me. Does it have trees involved?
It does.
Okay.
So trees in a controlled state,
Yes.
it is study, like with like almost where
Yes. With the wind.
they just fall over.
Yeah.
They literally need wind to grow, to get strong roots.
Do you know that our viewers will appreciate this? Your houseplants, which I have a lot of houseplants that I've kept alive for a long time.
You shake the shit out of them.
You shake the shit out of them when you water them because it strengthens the roots, just like the wind.
In business, but also even more in life, and especially in a marriage. Don't wait for the fall. Don't wait to be disrupted. Disrupt yourself. Disrupt your own marriage. Shake it up rather than fight it and rather than hold off. Do it now and make that choice so that when it's time, you're not on the decline.